Alexis Osorio and Sarah
Groenewagen.
Yes, Groenewagen, thank you. And just very close game, 1-1. I mean, a couple runs scored here and there, but again, hopefully the bats will be alive tonight and get a couple more runs across this year.
Well, the walks have not been alive for opponents against the pitcher tonight for Alabama, and that's the freshman Montana Fouts, a very highly touted recruit.
Yes, absolutely. The Kentucky native just really coming in and stepping up as a freshman and making plays, and again, pitching 27 innings without having a single walk. That is unheard of from a pitcher, and even a freshman for that matter. I mean, can you imagine coming in first year and pitching that well? How high do you think her confidence is right now?
I can't imagine doing anything as a freshman as well as she's done in terms of efficiency, as Montana Fouts will get this game started against Ellie Jensen. And the first pitch just misses. Here's the Minnesota batting order for you, starting with Jensen. And then going on through, you see a bunch of high averages and a bunch of averages around 250 or below. Jensen, one of the batters on the higher side.
Batting nearly 500 at that. Well, a little ways off, but still pretty close to it.
And there you see her from Waterton, Wisconsin, the sophomore. 2018 second team All-Big Ten, also on the all-freshman team last year. She's facing a 2-0 count against Montana Fouts. Tries to bunt, and that one called a strike, 2-1. Jensen with the best batting average last weekend in the St. Pete Clearwater Invitational was 6 for 12. Drove in a run as well. Minnesota had 4 games there. Rachel went 2 for 2, but faced really tough competition.
Absolutely. Minnesota is packing their schedule with all of these big teams.
As you see that one go to Claire Jenkins, and the throw to first is in time for out number 1.
They're playing these big teams so they can rack up their RPI, and really hope to make a good run at the NCAA tournament this weekend. Or, wow, that skipped a couple of months.
You're skipping the entire season now, Rachel.
Yeah, really.
We just got everything started. As Alabama's got one away, and McKenna Partain steps in. The junior from Banks, Oregon. 2018 first team All-Big Ten against Montana Fouts.
I want to go back to that play that Claire just made too. That is a tough play to make. One, she's been a rocket shortstop, just holding it down, taking Sydney Booker's place from last year, just really stepping in and being a vocal leader in this infield, and really just accepting the challenge and knowing that she can do it, and again, being consistent.
That one fouled into the Alabama dugout. Here is that last play by the junior Claire Jenkins on the infield.
Again, gets the hop, makes a great throw to first. Towel, again, looking super comfortable at first, makes it look easy.
And Claire Jenkins, as a junior, the oldest player on the infield. We've got freshman Skylar Wallace at second, sophomore Maddie Morgan at third, and sophomore Kaylee Tao at first. Here's the 1-1, and that one finds the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2 from Fouts. Swing and a miss. Got her the first strikeout of the evening for the freshman in the circle.
She names, I mean, just going right at batters, not afraid to throw it in the strike zone. But one thing that she does do well is she does not miss her spots. And when a pitcher is constantly throwing pitchers pitches, it is hard to be successful against her. Especially, and I mean, her stat line shows it. Again, no walks, a lot of different strikeouts, and just going right at people.
A solid number as Maddie Houlihan stands in and takes the first pitch strike. Here is the Alabama defense. A few changes from the first game this evening, although not out in the outfield. As Schroeder's in left, Brown in center, KB sides in right. Infield, Morgan at third, Jenkins at short, Wallace at second, Tao at first, and now Reagan Dykes behind the plate. The 1-0 swung on and missed on the rise. 1 ball, 1 strike.
One thing, too, I think helps Montana as well as having the senior catcher behind the plate, Reagan Dykes. She is a veteran, has started all 4 years, and is just really helping grow maturity in Montana and just give her the confidence that she needs to be as good as she is, because honestly, a pitcher is just as good as her catcher is.
And Reagan Dykes, one of the best in the SEC, as that one misses high and outside. To Maddie Houlihan.
That is a fun last name to say.
That is a fun last name. From Plymouth, Minnesota. Last year's Big Ten Tournament Most Outstanding Player. and also Freshman of the Year in the Big Ten in 2016. Has had a tough start to the season by her own account. As that one misses low, 3 balls and 1 strike.
Fun fact about Montana that we learned in Patrick Murphy's interview yesterday was that she did not throw a movement pitch until she was 13 or 14 years old. As a pitcher, that is unheard of. Most people don't even, most people start movement pitches when they're 8 or probably 9 or 10 years old, and she, again, did not start it until 13 or 14 at the earliest.
So sorry to cut you off. I think the scoreboard had something incorrect, so they've moved the count to 2-2 now. 2-2 here. So not quite the full count we thought a moment ago, but either way, Montana Fouts getting Houlihan to foul off right there, trying not to walk her first batter of the season. The 2-2 holds off on the rise and almost got away from Dykes, and now the count goes full.
One thing, too, Montana does very well is she has a poker face. She very much resembles the demeanor of Alexis Osorio in a sense where she does not get frazzled whenever she gets in a situation where, again, it's 3-2, 2 outs. Again, there's no runners on base, not really huge pressure, but again, could break her streak of walking here.
Got her on the inside corner. No walks yet as Montana Fouts gets her second strikeout of the evening, and Minnesota goes 3 up and 3 down here to start the game. Alabama coming up to bat here as Montana Fouts shows her stuff in the circle to start this contest. A chilly night here in Tuscaloosa as we head to the bottom half of the first inning between Alabama and Minnesota. And in the circle tonight for the Golden Gophers, the junior Amber Pfizer from Van Horn, Iowa.
She has been such a huge asset to the Minnesota lineup. Just has pitched a majority of the innings for theirs and throws upper 60s, both sides of the plate, mixes a lot of speeds, and goes up and down. So really working with all sorts of elements here with this pitcher.
Yeah, and does have an off speed if she wants to use it. Pitched 244 and a third innings last season for Minnesota, and 3-2 to start the year this year. Did not appear in the game against Louisiana Monroe earlier today here at Rhodes Stadium. Did see a lot of action against ranked teams over the weekend down in that St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational. And now she'll see Kaylee Tao to start the bottom half of the first. Here is the Alabama lineup today, looking very similar to what Patrick Murphy put out in the first game, as it's Tao, Sides, and Hemphill starting up. Dykes, though, in the cleanup spot. 1-0 to Tao. Away, 2 balls and no strikes. And Kaylee Tao earlier today, 1 for 3, had that 2 RBI double, did the sophomore from Madisonville, Kentucky.
One thing, too, that double is going to force pitchers to do is they're going to have to actually work both sides of the plate and keep her guessing, because if Tao figures out that they're going to throw her outside the whole time, she can hit that.
She hits this one out towards left, and ranging over and making the catch is Brandt for out number 1. Here is the Minnesota defense. You just saw Brandt out there in left field make the catch. Jensen out in center, Houlihan in right. The Golden Gopher outfield, and then the infield. Kimmett Mueller at third, Arneson at short, Partain at second, Brandner at first, and Burns behind the plate catching Amber Pfizer. Here's KB Sides. And that one, watch out, watch your head.
Duck in cover. You got to be on a swivel when you're over there in the dugout.
Kaylee Tao smiling after KB Sides almost decapitated her.
That's true love of a teammate right there.
The 0-1 to Sides. Hits Pfizer's spot, and it's 0-2. KB Sides, a sophomore from Dora, Alabama, had a really great game against Missouri State, 3 for 3 with 2 runs driven in. And that one fouled off again. Sides, Rachel, another player that Patrick Murphy needed to step up at the plate, and she has done that so far this season.
Absolutely. I mean, losing people like Demi Turner and Cindy Booker and Peyton Grantham and all of these huge players for Alabama really created a lot of holes in the lineup for young or underclassmen to get spots and a chance to shine here in Rhodes Stadium. And KB being one of the people that took the opportunity and ran with it. I mean, she's had an incredible season. Again, like you said, she went 3 for 3 earlier with 2 RBIs. It's kind of hard not to play her when she's hitting this well.
Well, except that time as she grounds out to first, as you see Patrick Murphy in the third base coach's box, 21st season in Tuscaloosa with that national championship in 2012. As he watches Bailey Hemphill stand at the plate against Amber Pfizer, and the first one misses outside. Bailey Hemphill, the junior from Lafayette, Louisiana, had that 3-run shot earlier today, was 1 for 3. The 1-0, fouled straight back, 1 ball, 1 strike. Now batting .406 on the season, 4 home runs, 19 runs driven in. The 1-1. Good pitch from Pfizer, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2, and Hemphill swings and misses, and Amber Pfizer gets the strikeout to end the inning for Alabama. No score, Alabama, Minnesota, end of 1 here in Tuscaloosa. Highly touted recruit Montana Fouts, the freshman in the circle for Alabama. And why is she highly touted? Well, look at those accolades. 3-time Kentucky Gatorade Player of the Year, USA Today All-USA High School Player of the Year last year, and we've seen what makes her so potent in the circle already in this game, Rachel.
Yes, she does not miss her spots. Again, like I said earlier, she is a very accurate and very just put together poker face pitcher. I mean, she doesn't pitch like she's a freshman, that's for sure.
Yeah, efficient as ever. And going up against Hope Brandner right now.
And Gray, Hope Grander is actually a transfer from Oregon State, so a new face on the Minnesota lineup.
Yeah, and Oregon State came here for regionals. Faced Alabama in the Tuscaloosa Regional a season ago. Grander, the sophomore, batting .408 this season. That one misses too far inside and low, 2-0. Hope Brandner from Vacaville, California. I hope I'm saying that right. I apologize if I'm not, but 2018 third team All Pac-12, All Pac-12 freshman team a year ago. 2-0 misses inside, and it's 3 balls and no strikes here from Fouts.
Could that walk be coming here, Gray?
What are we doing? Are we saying walk watch? Is that what it is?
It could happen. But hey, she's had plenty of 3-0 counts and come out of it, so who knows?
Brandner has walked 5 times this season. The 3-0 from Fouts. Right down the middle, 3 balls and 1 strike. So there's Brandner last season for Oregon State. All freshman team, as we said, third team also pretty good power numbers, 12 homers, 36 runs driven in. Going up against Fouts in the circle. The 3-1. Got the outside corner, and Brandner was ready for the walk. She started heading towards first base, but the count goes full.
I think she's wanting to get that first walk from Montana. I'm sure they know the stat that she's got. It's known. I feel like that she has not walked people in 27 innings. She goes right at hitters, and clearly she's doing that now, even being down 3-0.
She'll need to on the payoff pitch. That one low, and Montana Fouts has walked her first batter of the season after 28 innings.
That's impressive. I mean, that's just, again, unheard of. She set a record here at Alabama, and, I mean, to do that in her first, 11 and 1 inning of playing, I mean, that's great.
The poise from Fouts has been impressive as Caitlin Kimmett-Mueller steps up. First pitch misses high for ball 1. As you see Kimmett-Mueller there, the junior from Rogers, Minnesota, has seen her need in the lineup increased quite a bit. Just 58 at-bats a season ago for the Golden Gophers. He's now seen 23 on the young season. As Reagan Dykes goes out and chats with Montana Fouts, who might be feeling the pressure after giving up her first walk of the season. The 1-0. Bunt foul. Kaylee Tao couldn't go get it. 1 ball, 1 strike.
With the pressure for Montana, I mean, it's totally different here at home. I mean, Montana, being a freshman, she played here in the fall for fall ball, but she has not experienced the true road stadium atmosphere yet, and that could be getting to her.
Yeah, a player that's been committed to Alabama for quite some time. And you can just see the accolades there. 25 no-hitters in high school. Ridiculous. The 1-1 hit over towards Claire Jenkins. It gets by her. And Minnesota's got 2 aboard here with nobody out in the top of the second.
Great defensive great defensive effort by Claire. And, I mean, just great piece of hitting. I mean, there's nothing, that's the best you can do to defend that, So
Kimmett-Mueller is aboard, and all of a sudden Minnesota trying to manufacture a little something here. As Allie Arneson is scheduled to come to the plate, and you see her chatting with Jamie Traxel, the second-year head coach for Minnesota. Spent 6 years at North Dakota State, then a year at Iowa State, and now calls Minnesota her home. Golden Gophers advanced to the Seattle Regional last year, fell to Washington. And we will see a pinch runner here for Minnesota. It's Macy Gill trotting out to replace Brandner at second base.
that could be a smart move by the coach there. If she feels like Allie Aronson is on fire here or had great BP, then, you know, she could get a run here, RBI, and may have been a good coaching move.
Arneson, 2017, first team All Big Ten against Montana Fouts. And the first pitch came in very tight and was fouled off. Arneson, the senior, one of the leaders on this team for Minnesota, from Aledo, Texas. With a runner in scoring position and another at first. The 0-1. Alabama defensively ready for the bunt as that pitch came in for a strike, 0-2.
Now she's got a hit. I mean, I feel like coach probably signaled her to bunt, I would guess, and she missed the opportunity twice. Now she needs to get a hit here.
The 0-2 from Fouts. Low and away for ball one. The 1-2. Got her on the rise ball, and Montana Fouts with her third strikeout of the evening. And Minnesota sends one down with two still on. Well, these teams are no stranger to close games. We referenced the 2017 Tuscaloosa Regional in the NCAA tournament. Both 1-0 games, so that's probably, Rachel, why they've got a pinch runner out there at second. You never know when it's only going to be a one-run difference.
Absolutely. I mean, with these pitching duels and the great pitchers that they've had on both sides of the field, I mean, it's hard to even get one run across, like in those two games. So never know when your opportunity is going to come, and you got to take it or risk it for the biscuit.
Will the opportunity come for Ann Miller, the sophomore from Bloomington, Minnesota? Getting her first start of the season. Here's the 0-1 as Reagan Dykes throws down to second, but getting back in time is Gill. The 1-1 from Fouts. This misses a touch low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Three for 5 is Miller this year. Usually a pinch hitter for this team, as that one hits the outside corner for a strike. And in that role, has a home run, has a double. She's been pretty consistent at the plate, probably why she's getting the starting spot this evening.
Don't doubt it. You know, sometimes coaches just get a feeling in their gut that this player may be able to do something special this game. So.
The 2-2. Well, Montana Fouts is feeling pretty good after that one.
Absolutely.
Gets Miller to chase 2 away.
I mean, Montana has come back from the hit earlier and the walk, and then to come back and get these 2 strikeouts here, I mean, that shows a lot of maturity from Montana.
It's reminiscent of a moment in Tucson where in the 4th inning against Arizona, the Wildcats scored a run, had runners on 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. Montana Fouts went on to strike out the next 3 batters. She's going up against Emma Burns, the freshman catcher. This one chopped right back to Fouts. The toss over to first is in time, and the threat ends. Alabama-Minnesota pitcher's duel here, no score in Tuscaloosa. The taco hot sauce race here at Rhodes Stadium, a tradition in Tuscaloosa, and we've seen some hot pitching tonight from both starters in the circle as Amber Pfizer will come out and do work now for the Minnesota Golden Gophers against Dykes, Schroeder, and Jenkins. Pfizer looked really good back in that first inning.
Absolutely. The Alabama lineup's going to have to make an adjustment here and really figure out how to put a couple of hits together so we can get some runs across the board.
Will it be Reagan Dykes, the senior from Collins, Mississippi? Had 1 at-bat in the game earlier today. And she swings and misses on the first pitch. Dykes, one of the captains on this team, along with senior pitcher Courtney Gettins. The 0-1. Misses inside. And as we've talked a lot, we talked about KB Sides early on, but Reagan Dykes, another player in the Alabama offense that has really improved their numbers early in the season.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the last couple of years, she's been off and on, have her good games, you know, just depending on.
As that one's hit over to second, and the day won't start strong for Dykes as she's called out there 1 away.
Yep. But sometimes, you know, sometimes it happens and you can't hit the broadside of a barn. And that's just how it falls. And she's really picked it up this year, done a great job, and really figured out how to hit the ball as best as she can and help her team as much as she can.
If there was video of my old T-ball days, you would see the definition of not being able to hit the broadside of a barn. As Mara Schroeder steps in. First pitch fouled straight back. Schroeder, the senior from Houston, Texas. 2017 Bama Bash All-Tournament team, and had a pretty good game earlier today. Went 2 for 3 with that solo shot to get the scoring started in the 2nd inning.
She is really starting to pick it up as in the last couple of games.
The 0-1 is low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
started the season a little slow and has slowly started to pick it up. And like she had that shot earlier, she's really done well so far this weekend.
The 1-1 right back up the middle. And Mara Schroeder gives Alabama the first hit of the afternoon or evening now as we see the sky darkening, and Mara Schroeder is aboard.
That's just a great piece of hitting right there. I mean, seeing the ball, hitting the ball, and taking advantage of a mistake by Pfizer. I mean, just great job by the senior and showing her maturity and just staying strong through the lineup and keeping that consistency where it needs to be.
And you have to wonder if Patrick Murphy will send Schroeder, if not on this pitch, maybe the next one.
I wouldn't be surprised. She's got the green light, so you never know.
Yeah, 4 for 4 stealing bases this year. Claire Jenkins at the plate.
But also, he could not send her here too, because like we talked about earlier, it's such a low-scoring game that you want to keep the base runners as long or as much as you can, right, in case you do get that hit.
And Claire Jenkins has been pretty good at the plate. Didn't register a hit earlier today, though, 0 for 3 against Missouri State for the junior from Coleman, Alabama. 1-0. This one hit hard, but foul.
I think that got somebody over there.
Claire Jenkins with 3 for 12 out in Tucson. 4 for 13 career-wise in the Bama Bash with a couple of runs driven in. The 1-1. This is inside. It's obviously very early, Rachel, but this game does kind of have the feel of, all right, 2-1, 1-0, one of those kind of games. Here's a 2-1. Right down the middle.
Yep, it's going to be a pitcher's duel between Montana Fouts and Amber Pfizer. I mean, they are great pitchers themselves and also have great teammates behind them to defend them and then also knock in the runs. So, well, or maybe lack thereof, knock in the runs. But they are both stellar players as well.
That one gets through from Claire Jenkins, and Alabama generating something here with 1 out. There's 2 aboard. Coming up next on the SEC Network, we'll take you to Barnhill Arena in Fayetteville for number 5 LSU squaring off against Arkansas. You can always watch Friday Night Heights streaming live on the ESPN app. And on this Friday night, a batter that has soared to new heights this season for Alabama, Maddie Morgan, now averaged north of 400. She stands in with a chance to drive in a run.
This is exactly who you want hitting in the lineup right now with runners in scoring position. She is hot right now. She is knocking in RBIs left and right and is just really, for lack of a better word, killing it. But she is doing very well.
A sophomore from Linwood, Washington. Here's the 0-1. High and away for ball 1. Just one official at bat against Missouri State. Went 1 for 1, also walked twice, drove in a run. And this one hit way out towards center. Moving over and making the catch is Jensen for out number 2. Skylar Wallace comes in, the freshman with a chance, and Minnesota wants to chat about something in the circle. I'm sure the conversation, Rachel, something along the lines of Skylar Wallace can play small ball, she can hit hard, infield needs to be alert for the Golden Gophers.
Yes, absolutely. Just be ready for anything. She's a great player. She can read her defense. She can do whatever she needs to do to get that run across, or even just get a base hit and then load them up for Alyssa Brown, which sounds like a oxymoron, but Alyssa can hit for power. She can hit up the middle. She can knock 1 or 2 RBIs in and then set it up for Kaylee Tao as well.
So it is Skylar Wallace that will go up against Amber Pfizer. Wallace, a freshman from Woodstock, Georgia. First pitch misses. Now, Skylar Wallace, very highly regarded recruiting-wise, a member of the U.S. Junior National Team, and Montana Fouts came in with all the hype. Skylar Wallace kind of slid under the radar, more or less.
She did, she did. Montana just came in and not outshined her, but just, she's a pitcher. The eyes are more on her, and then whenever Skylar starts picking it up, I mean, she's had a great couple games. As she gets more comfortable, same with Montana, they're going to start producing more and really just be a power duo for this offense and defense.
Not getting anything to swing at from Pfizer as that one's low and away. Wallace 5 for 12 out in Tucson. 5 runs driven in, including a double, probably about a foot away from being a home run off the wall. 2-1. Finds the strike zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 away, and the count goes full. Another payoff pitch coming, and Wallace fouls this one off. Runners were going on the pitch. We'll do it again. 3 balls and 2 strikes. This feels very early in this game, Rachel, like a huge at-bat for both teams.
Well, absolutely. This is the situation that Minnesota was in last inning and didn't actually capitalize on it, so maybe Alabama will capitalize here, get the run across, and make it something other than a 0-0 ball game.
Amber Pfizer has walked just 4 batters this season. They're now 28 2/3 innings. The 3-2. Big foul again. And Skylar Wallace and Amber Pfizer locked in battle right here.
Skylar really fighting here, showing some fight, never not giving in, and really making Amber Pfizer work for it.
Another payoff pitch to Wallace. Got her on the outside corner, and Skylar Wallace strikes out looking. So both pitchers face a little adversity in the second inning, and both get out of it. Still scoreless here in Tuscaloosa between Alabama and Minnesota. Well, we broadcasters love good names, and there really isn't a better one in college athletics than Montana Fouts. As you see, ESPN's own Graham Hayes tweeting about the no-walk statistic. Unfortunately for Montana Fouts, that has been broken this evening, but still, 33 strikeouts, 0 walks, her first 27 innings, and she has added, Rachel, 4 Ks tonight.
She is just setting people up and really just going at these people, at the players, and not really pitching with fear. She's fearless, essentially.
And you don't see that very often from freshmen.
Absolutely not. They're more scared and timid to make a mistake or do something that would get them pulled from the lineup.
And Fouts gets Carly Brandt swinging there on the rise ball. The junior left fielder is Brandt, hailing from Le Sueur, Minnesota. The 0-2 holds off on the rise. Brandt was 1 for 1 earlier today with a double against Louisiana Monroe. Also walked twice. The 1-2, low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fouts tosses it in and strikes out another Golden Gopher. Give Montana Fouts 5 through the first 9, Rachel.
Wow, I mean, just going right at these batters, not being afraid to go in the zone with them, and again, she is not missing her spots. These are intentional placements based on the pitcher's or the batter's tendency, and just, again, really going out these hitters.
And getting most of those strikeouts with the rise ball. The curve working a couple times as Ellie Jensen sees Fouts for the second time this evening. She grounded out back in the first. As you see the numbers there by Montana Fouts. First walk of the season, but 5 Ks through 9 batters. He's just looked very comfortable this evening. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
I have a feeling that Montana Fouts is going to be one of those names you remember, like Alexis Osorio in Alabama history.
Certainly starting the year off right as the 0-2 is fouled back. We'll do it again. Alabama with pitching depth that Patrick Murphy has never really seen, he's never seen it here at Alabama. 5 pitchers on the staff. We saw 2 of them earlier today, and Courtney Gettins, as well as Sarah Cornell. It's the 0-2, low, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And the most that he's had before that was 4, and that was the year that they won the national championship in 2012. So this is new foreign territory for him to have this luxury of 5 pitchers.
And it gives you a lot of opportunities to mix things up, throw somebody in maybe for a batter or 2 if you like a matchup. There's a lot of ways to maneuver with 5 arms. 1-2, just misses. Oh boy, that was close.
It looked too close to take, but I guess it was a good take on her part.
Let's see it again. Maybe a touch high?
Maybe.
Close.
It's a great pitch to throw, though.
And you're right, good job by Jensen holding off. Here's the 2-2. Poke foul. The 2-2. Just misses again, and the count goes full. That's Ted Broyles, the home plate umpire, trying to get some groans from the Alabama faithful. As Ellie Jensen continues to battle here at the plate. Payoff pitch. Right to Claire Jenkins. The throw to first is in time for out number 2.
Again, Claire being a solid defender for the Alabama Crimson Tide and just being consistent. And I feel like Montana can have comfort in hitting the ball to her and know that Claire is going to make the play.
Claire coming and chatting with the freshman hurler now in the circle. Claire Jenkins made some highlight reel plays last season for the Crimson Tide.
Absolutely, she has made top 10 a couple of times on SEC or on ESPN. I mean, she's
the first pitch out to Partain is over to Skylar Wallace, who tiptoes around and makes the catch for out number 3. Some fancy footwork by Wallace, and the pitching duel continues. No score, Alabama and Minnesota. No score between Alabama and Minnesota here in Tuscaloosa, heading to the bottom of the third, and we are on with Jamie Traxel, the head coach of Minnesota. Coach, thank you for joining us. What have you seen so far that you've liked from Amber Fizer in the circle?
She's attacking the pitchers, or the hitters, sorry, and she's going right at them, and she's trusting her defense a little bit, not trying to do too much of the pitches around the zone, trying to work ahead of the hitters, and we're getting good out. She had a big pitch in that last inning to get in a big moment.
And Coach, on offense, what adjustments are you making against Montana Fouts the second time around?
Just to keep being aggressive. She doesn't walk anybody, so we know she's around the zone, and to try to swing early in the count to make sure that we're not getting ourselves buried. But we'll keep attacking. She's a good pitcher. We know we're not going to score in 7 innings. Just going to take maybe that 1 or 2 innings to be the difference of the game, and we're going to keep taking our hacks.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jamie Traxel joining us here as Alabama coming to the plate. And there is the pitcher she just talked about, Amber Fizer, who struck out 2 so far in this game. And we're seeing a battle between 2 players on the USA Softball Collegiate Player of the Year Top 50 watch list. Amber Fizer, the one from Minnesota, and at the plate, the one for Alabama, Alyssa Brown.
I mean, Alyssa Brown, again, leading off in the top of the second, or the bottom of the third inning, excuse me, and again, shows why Patrick Murphy moved her down to the bottom of the lineup. Again, there's one leadoff hitter for the game at the beginning, and then everybody could have the chance of being a leadoff as the game progresses. So again, Patrick Murphy's decision being a good one.
Alyssa Brown will try and prove him right, like you're saying. Second pitch over to the third baseman, and the throw to first from Kimmett Mueller is in time for out number 1, getting the speedy Alyssa Brown.
Tough play, too, that she had to make there. I mean, Alyssa, speedy, like you said, just getting down the line, and not really a hard hit ball to third base, but she charged it, made a good play, and got the out.
And so Kaylee Tao will come up with the bases clear. She flew out back in the first. A little confusion here as Fizer waiting on the call from the dugout. And that one misses, 2 balls and no strikes. Here's Fizer this evening so far, Rachel. She has been efficient as ever and really cut down Alabama the one time they threatened back in the second.
I agree. I mean, she's held her own against this number 6 team in the country and just really taking advantage of the opportunity to pitch against such a great team and make herself better and work on hitting her spots and hitting her pitches.
And hitting her spot that time, making it 2-1. Nice off-speed pitch there from Fizer. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That is a nasty pitch to throw, let me tell you. And it is hard to, 1, lay off of, or 2, let go by because it just looks so good.
The 2-2. Tao holds off. Count goes full. Tao has been walked 11 times this season. Good enough for second in the SEC. And she walks. Tao trots over to first. Wednesday, we'll have the number 5 team in the nation right here on the SEC Network when Tennessee takes on Ole Miss at the Pavilion in Oxford. 7 Eastern, 6 Central, and you can always watch it on the ESPN app from anywhere. KB Sides at the plate now. 0 for 1.
I think we have an illegal pitch here, maybe? Or something with her taking the ball out of her glove or something?
I'm not sure. That was a motion I haven't seen before. From first plate umpire Michael Thibodeau. I think the count will remain the same. So 1 ball, no strikes to KB Sides, sophomore from Dora, Alabama. And this one right back to Pfizer. The third is second is in time to get the lead runner, and there's 2 away. Smart play by Pfizer there, getting Tao.
Definitely. That's a hard play to make as a pitcher, too, because you have to completely turn your body around, make a good third to second, to even give the potential to, 1, get an out, and possibly 2, turn a double play. But with KV speed, they had a seldom shot to do that. And so you can see even the pitcher checked over to first and saw where Tao was and made a good heads-up play to make the third to second.
So what adjustment has Bailey Hemphill made at the plate? Struck out back in the first inning on a wicked pitch on the outside corner. She's up again. Sides dancing around as that one finds the strike zone. The 0-1 to Hemphill. Misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. That one misses as well. 2 balls and 1 strike. The 2-1, this one hit over towards left. Will it find the Bermuda Triangle? No. Ranging over and making the catch is Allie Arneson for out number 3. We'll chat with the head coach of Alabama, Patrick Murphy, on the other side. Scoreless here in T-Town. Scoreless here in Tuscaloosa between Alabama and Minnesota, and we're chatting with the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Patrick Murphy. Coach, Amber Pfizer's looked pretty good in the circle for Minnesota. What are you telling your hitters the second time they see her through the lineup?
Well, she's got a little changeup going, and she's hitting her spots well, and I think the umpire's given her a little bit on the outside corner, especially to the lefties. A little known fact for you and Bobo, that young lady went to high school where I grew up in Iowa, Benton Community, and I think she won a title when she was pitching there, but she's a good pitcher.
And another good pitcher, yours, Montana Fouts, had her first walk of the season. What'd you tell her to calm her down after that?
I didn't tell her anything. You know, she was 3-0, and it was a tough situation. But, you know, she's not going to go a whole season without walking somebody. But she came back strong, and it was, I think they had first and second and no outs in that inning, too. So she's fine.
All right, Coach, thank you so much.
Okay, thanks a lot.
And there is a freshman. I had to ask. I mean, yeah, freshmen, sometimes their nerves get a little jumpy.
Yeah, it could. I mean, obviously, she was probably thinking about that in the back of her mind when she got to 3-0. And, I mean, it happens. Obviously, like Patrick Murphy said, you're going to walk somebody. Have you ever heard of a pitcher not having at least 1 walk in this season? I mean, that's literally unheard of. So, it might actually be better for her that she got it out of the way. Now she doesn't have that pressure on her shoulders, and she can just throw and play ball.
Well, you see all the articles and tweets about it. Now that's over and done. As Fouts has that first walk of the season. Still just 1 this year as Maddie Houlihan stands in. This one is going to be a tough play. Claire Jenkins will throw to first. And she and Maddie Morgan did not communicate on who was going to get it until it was too late, and Minnesota has an infield hit. Hope Brandner stepping in, Oregon State transfer, walked back in the second inning. Right down the middle for strike 1.
Maddie Houlihan is 1 for 2 stolen bases, so I don't know. I doubt I'll send her here, but never know.
There's some good speed up and down this lineup for Minnesota, if need be. 0-1 hammers the outside corner. Strike 2. As we get further in this game, Rachel, again, it feels like one of those where just 1 run could be the difference. it's all about taking advantage when you've got a runner on base.
Absolutely. Again, both pitchers are very well trained and have put in their hours.
That one low.
And just are hard workers and, again, have a great defense behind them. So you got to really earn it in order to be able to get on base and even get that run across.
The 1-2 from Fouts. Swing and a miss. Corrects the walk early on with a strikeout here in the 4th inning, and there's one away. And look at that pitch, Rachel.
Man, I mean, doesn't get much better than that. And she took a hack at that ball, so if she had made contact with that, that would have been out to the brickyard.
But she does not, and now Mueller steps in, the runner on first still.
That was a big out, too, because, again, normally coaches would probably bunt their player in a game like this, and getting the strikeout takes them down and out and then potentially, you know, gets them out of the inning quicker.
Swing and a miss. Mueller, who singled back in the 2nd inning.
I'll tell you what, these Gophers are getting in their hacks. I mean, the last 2 batters have just been, they don't go down without a fight.
Arizona in that game over in Tucson last weekend made an adjustment. Started swinging at the first pitch every time against Montana Fouts. So they got some contact. 1-1, misses high, 2 balls and 1 strike. Sometimes you just have to adjust or just go out there and swing away and hope you get something. The 2-1. This one hit up in the infield, and Claire Jenkins moves over and makes the catch for out number 2. So we've talked a lot about the 2017 NCAA Tournament Regionals. Alabama and Minnesota battling in Tuscaloosa. 2 games that weekend and 2 Alabama victories, 1-0 over the Golden Gophers.
I mean, look at the hits there. I mean, they are slim to none. I mean, it truly shows how much of a pitcher's duel it was.
As swing and a miss, trying to get the stealing runner was Reagan Dykes, but that throw was one hopped, and sliding in is Houlihan at 2nd. Let's take another look at it. So with the stolen base.
Now she's what, 2 for 3?
2 for 3, and a runner in scoring position now. Riley Arneson. Swing and a miss. She did strike out back in the 2nd inning. Faces 0-2 now.
This puts a little bit of pressure on the batter, too, because probably in the back of her mind she's thinking, man, this may be the one opportunity that we have to score. And, again, it's only the top of the 4th, but still, there's, I mean, not a whole lot of ball game left.
And the softball goes by quickly if you're not careful. You don't want to waste your chances. The 0-2 blown away on the chase pitch, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2. Popped up. Going to get it is Reagan Dykes, and she makes the catch up against the netting for out number 3.
That's exactly why she's in the lineup to catch, Gray. I mean, that's a great play.
So we remain scoreless in Tuscaloosa. Alabama, Minnesota continuing to battle. The pitcher's duel continues here in Tuscaloosa, and Reagan Dykes leading off the bottom half of the fourth for Alabama, as often happens right after a fantastic defensive play, Rachel.
That is just a great effort right there. Not really caring about her body running into the wall, worry about the netting. That is huge concentration on her part, and really...
Now can she take hold of that momentum? And there is a history between Reagan Dykes and Minnesota. In that first game of the 2017 regional, it was Reagan Dykes who was walked by Sarah Groenewagen to score the winning run in the first meeting between those two. On a ball call that was controversial to say the least. It was about as close as it gets. First pitch misses. Dykes 0 for 1 today, grounded out back in the second. Off speed from Pfizer finds the strike zone.
I feel like she's been able to count on that as a strike two tonight pretty consistently. I mean, and that's a great pitch to throw when you're down in the count, because most of the time these Alabama players are not waiting to sit on the off speed.
The 1-1 finds the lower part of the strike zone.
Reagan doesn't look too happy with that call.
Patrick Murphy's not either. He's coming out to chat. Let's see it again.
Maybe a little low.
Well, Reagan Dykes trying to correct things. This one way out there and not going to go far enough as Brandt moves over to make the catch. Looked good off the bat, but a big catch out in left field, and there's one away.
Just missed that. I mean, that could have been the one run that gets scored in this game, but great job keeping it in the park and making a play on it.
A player that did not keep it in the park earlier today, Maris Schroeder, now steps up, hitting that solo shot against Missouri State. She singled back in the second inning right up the middle. The 1-0. High, 2 balls and no strikes. Pfizer as well, Rachel, has been extremely efficient with just the 53 pitches tonight and not a ton of balls thrown so far.
Right, just going at these batters and, again, like you said, being efficient. That is the key, and really both pitchers are doing that.
Here's a 2-0 out to second base and throw to first in time. Good play by Partain. As Claire Jenkins steps in now. She also singled back in that second inning.
See if she can do it again.
As we sit here, Rachel, it feels like the momentum is just up in the air right now.
I agree. I definitely do. Just momentum was kind of lost after that changeup was called on Reagan, and then she had the great solid contact, but again, didn't take it out of the yard and just kind of stalled the offense a little bit here. But we'll see if Claire can get it started again or Pfizer can get a big strikeout here.
1-0. Jenkins waits. 2 balls and no strikes. Earlier today against Missouri State, Alabama 3 for 8 with 2 outs. Really good when runners were on second and third. 6 for 12 with runners in scoring position. And they've also done their most damage this year in the fourth inning. 22 runs scored. That one hits, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Claire's another one of those players that Patrick Murphy said has been just working hard and getting better every day and making sure that she makes it count this year, not waiting around.
And one of those juniors that kind of woke up over the summer and realized they're halfway through college as the 2-1 hits high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And certainly don't want to waste your opportunity at a place like Alabama. And the juniors on this team have not been to Oklahoma City. That's something that players are accustomed to.
Absolutely. It is almost, I wouldn't say an Alabama tradition quite, but it is something that each player knows is a possibility, as I'm sure Minnesota players feel the same way. They could get there as well. But yeah, definitely it is something that has become weird if we don't make it to the if they don't make it to the World Series.
The 2-2 to Jenkins. Misses inside, count goes full. Payoff pitch to Jenkins. Didn't get her, missed high, and Jenkins walks the first walk surrendered. Excuse me, the second walk surrendered tonight from Pfizer.
That is a tough pitch to lay off too, right up and in. I mean, most right-handed hitters, that's what they live for. That's what they want to get. And again, laying off this pitch that was too high in the zone and taking the walk, that's just good piece of hitting right there. I mean, that's close. That's close though. You're right.
Pfizer
she even knew it too. Yeah.
And now she'll come back against Maddie Morgan, a sophomore who flew out back in the second inning. As Morgan takes ball one, average down to 400 after the out earlier tonight. The 1-0. Hits her right on the right leg, and Alabama's got two on the hard way with two away.
That'll leave a nice bruise. That hit her right in the quad. But if you're going to get hit anywhere, that's probably one of the better places to do it.
Oh.
Man. That's got to hurt.
Did you ever get hit like that back in your playing days?
Actually, I did in a scrimmage against Maddie Moore, not Maddie Morgan.
Okay.
And I mean, I had a bruise that just like engulfed my quad for like a week. It was pretty terrible. I still have a picture of it on my phone. I'm like, hey guys, look at this. This is the bruise that I have on my leg. I sent it to my mom. She said, I rubbed some dirt on it.
Yeah. Well, Maddie Morgan will have to rub some dirt on it over at first, as Alabama tries to threaten once again here in the fourth. The fourth was good to Alabama earlier today. Crimson Tide got 7 runs across the plate against Missouri State. Skylar Wallace will try and drive in a run here with 2 outs. First pitch misses. Wallace got called for the strikeout on a tough high and outside pitch last time, and with freshman Rachel, it's all about the adjustments that you make the second time up.
Absolutely. I mean, you can see with Amber Pfizer, I mean, she goes right at these pitchers, but I mean, she's pitching around Skylar right now, so she's in a hitter's count right now. If she's going to hit a pitch, it's probably going to be this one.
First time the crowd has really made themselves known here at Rhodes Stadium. The 2-0 to Skylar Wallace. Right down the middle, good movement, 2 balls and 1 strike.
That's a pitch that Skylar has to hit, though. I mean, it doesn't get much prettier than that, to be honest. And great job by Amber Pfizer just getting a strike in there and starting to make her way back into the count.
The 2-1. Swing and a miss, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Claire Jenkins at second after walking. Maddie Morgan hit by a pitch, she's at first. The 2-2 from Pfizer. Swing and a miss. What a big strikeout from Amber Pfizer, leaving 2 runners stranded for the Crimson Tide. And the pitcher's duel continues. We're through 4. This is no score, Alabama, Minnesota. Just 4 combined hits here tonight between Alabama and Minnesota in the top of the 5th inning. Montana Fouts still in the circle for the Crimson Tide. Going up against Ann Miller. And first pitch just misses for ball 1. Miller struck out back in the 2nd inning. That one just misses as well. 2 balls and no strike. Hits the inside corner for strike 1. Montana Fouts giving up her first walk of the season, Rachel, but the rise ball has been working as her strikeout pitch tonight so far.
It has. It's a hard pitch to lay off of. It's got a lot of good spin. It's great movement. It is, and it's coming in hot. I mean, I've heard from Patrick Murphy that she has hit 75 on the gun. So, I don't know if it's coming in that hard on the rise ball, but it's coming in pretty quick.
Certainly helped out with that 6-2 frame. Facing a 3-1 count now. This one chopped right back up the middle. Fouts to first, and out number 1 is recorded. There's the lineup tonight for Fouts. As you see there, just 2 hits given up and 6 strikeouts with the 1 walk. First pitch to Emma Burns is fouled over towards the Minnesota side. Burns had 2 home runs earlier today against Louisiana Monroe. So those 2 that you see for the season were both earlier today.
How ironic. Just misses. Bama defense encouraging each other out there. The infield has looked solid against some chop plays in their direction tonight, Rachel. Absolutely, and I mean, their defense wins ball games. I mean, that's the bottom line. If you don't have a good defense, you make errors and the other team scores, and you ultimately lose the ball game. So,
and moving back is KB Sides to make a defensive play. Loses it in the light as it falls down. Going to second is Burns. KB Sides tried to find that fly ball up in the air and just overplayed it a touch, had to come back. And Minnesota with a little something going on here in the 5th.
Let's look at this again. You see her look, and then it just pops in the light right there. Maybe a little misjudgment there too, with it being a night game and it being obviously here at Rhodes, but just tough play to make, but also a ball that needs to be caught.
Called an error, just Alabama's 4th this season. All right, so you played outfield, Rachel. Is it harder to make those kinds of plays during the day when the sun is shining, or at night when you've got the stadium lights possibly interfering?
It depends on the game, just because not even the game, just where you're positioned at. You can get to the side of the sun or the side of the lights and use your glove to block it. That is one way to help limit mistakes like that. It is a hard thing to do, but something you have to practice and get good at, especially in situations like this where it is a tight game.
And now you have to wonder what Minnesota's going to dial up for Carly Brandt, who struck out back in the 3rd. She's showing bunt. And that one finds a strike zone. Just 2 sacrifice bunts on the season for Minnesota. So not one that plays small ball that often. 0-1 misses, 1 ball, 1 strike. And look at the infield. Playing about halfway through out there, ready to make a throw home in case one does find its way through the infield. This one right back up the middle. Skylar Wallace with the play to first, and there's 2 away. Runner advances to third. So Burns is at third, 2 outs. And the top of the order coming up for the Golden Gophers. And it is Jensen who has grounded out twice in the direction of Claire Jenkins. And now easily, Rachel, the best chance for Minnesota to really attack Montana Fouts and get on the scoreboard.
Absolutely. I think this is actually the first runner that has made it all the way to third base. So, I mean, she's got the best shot of scoring right here.
Yeah, I was about to say, not only just for Minnesota, but for both teams. We've seen a couple on first and second, and now Reagan Dykes going to chat with Montana Fouts.
See some rally caps there on the Minnesota side.
This is a Minnesota team, no stranger to tough competition. 5-3 on the year. And this is why Minnesota has Burns over at third.
That's a huge play. I mean, and at this level, you have to be able to make those plays, and just especially when it's in a tight game like this.
First pitch to Ellie Jensen is a strike. And Minnesota has seen Ole Miss, they've seen Tennessee, Notre Dame, Florida State, and Cal. Beat Louisiana Monroe earlier today, 5-0. Here's the 0-1. Got her, and Montana Fouts ahead 0-2. This feels, Rachel, like one of Montana Fouts' rise balls.
I could see it, really could. She's been getting a lot of people tonight with that rise ball.
The 0-2 from Fouts. Just missed. Crowd wanted the call, as most crowds always do. 1-2. On the outside corner. What a pitch from Montana Fouts, getting strikeout number 7 and stranding the runner over at third. We remain scoreless. Alabama 0, Minnesota 0. A real fun one here in Tuscaloosa. And on the other side, Amber Pfizer limited Alabama to just 2 hits this evening. She'll start off this bottom of the 5th inning against Alyssa Brown, who's 0 for 1 on the day. Bunted right up the middle. Tough play for the Minnesota infield, but the throw to first is in plenty of time for out number 1. And we welcome you back into the booth here in Obo. Coming into this game, we thought it would be low scoring, but it's really been quite a pitcher's duel between Montana Fouts and Amber Pfizer.
It has. Amber Pfizer and Montana Fouts have just pitched great. I mean, just throwing right at people, not really being hesitant, playing fearlessly, and again, going right at the hitters. That is huge, and especially for Montana, who is a freshman.
And Pfizer will do that against Kaylee Tao with 1 away. That one finds a strike zone. And again, Rachel, something we talked about earlier, Patrick Murphy using Kaylee Tao as the leadoff batter in the last couple games to give her chances to bring in Alyssa Brown, but Brown hasn't gotten on base tonight.
Sometimes it happens. Just Minnesota is playing great defense, really reading Alyssa's playmaking very well, and just honestly making very good, stellar plays on her. She's quick. She's a tough out, no matter if she puts the ball in play or if she walks, then you got to worry about her stealing. And she's just, once she gets on base, that's when she's lethal. But she's got to work on getting to first base.
Yeah, average down to just 265 after that last out. Kaylee Tao currently the team leader at 448. Here's the 2-1 from Pfizer. Swing and a miss on the off speed. The 2-2. This one over towards short. The throw to first, it was pretty close actually, but in time.
Tao got down the line on that one. She really was booking it. Made it a close play. Shortstop, made a great play on that. Just fielding it cleanly. It took a funny hop there at the end, but again, made the play.
So now 2 away is Amber Pfizer. Pretty good in the circle tonight, Rachel. Three strikeouts this evening.
That last strikeout was a big one, too. Remember they had the runners on, I believe, second base? Yeah. Great. That was way to put the team on her back. I mean, that's what it is, just shutting down the Alabama offense.
And really attacking in the couple pressure situations Alabama's put on her. As you see, leader in the Big Ten in strikeouts. Sides, pokes this one just foul. Ooh, boy, that was close. It's 0-2 now to KB Sides. Let's take another look at this one.
Didn't miss by much.
And that had double written all over it if it had stayed fair. Instead, it's 0-2. Swing and a miss, ball gets away, but the throw down the first in plenty of time, and the side is retired. So we're through 5 and just 4 hits in this game. No score, Alabama, Minnesota. Thousands of live events, exclusive original programming, no long-term contract, $4.99 a month. ESPN Plus. For more information, visit espnplus.com. And it has been a heck of a performance tonight in the circle by both pitchers. Montana Fouts now wheeling and dealing against McKenna Partain in the first pitch in for a strike. So a lot of these batters, Rachel, coming around, now seeing these pitchers for the 3rd time in this game. Is there anything else you can do after the first 2? Because the adjustment period's usually after at-bat 1. As that one finds a strike zone.
I mean, it's just being able to, I guess, make an adjustment. Whether you're swinging at the high pitch, maybe see it down. Whether you're laying off the changeup, maybe hit the changeup this time. You know, just making an adjustment that fits for what mistake you made last at bat. Maybe it's not letting the great pitch go by that you got that was down the middle. You know, it just depends on the player.
The 0-2, low and away.
I think another thing, too, is just making sure you swing at your pitch and not a pitcher's pitch.
Right. Here's the 1-2, and Partain swung at that one. We'll do it again. Both teams combined now 4 for 35 hitting this evening. It's been tough to find ways to get on base, especially with 2 pitchers, Rachel, who don't walk a lot of people.
Absolutely not. I think they total 5 walks the whole season, I guess, because they had, updated now, probably maybe 7 total. But
it's certainly less than 10.
Yes, absolutely.
1-2. Maddie Morgan will make a play. The throw to first in time.
What a play. Man, that was a great defensive play by Maddie Morgan, and that's why she's over there at third base. She goes to field the ball, picks it up on the run, and makes the throw. That's a great veteran-looking play right there.
And from the sophomore at third, and look at the stretch by Kaylee Tao.
Hey, that's what those long legs are built for right there.
Kaylee Tao is 6 feet tall. Might as well use all of it. Here's Houlihan. So you're right on the money now. 7 walks between these two pitchers all season.
At least you know they're going to throw you something you can hit.
Exactly. Problem is, neither team's been able to hit.
Unfortunately.
Houlihan will try and change that on the 1-0. Outside corner again, 1 ball, 1 strike. This one hit right towards first, and Kaylee Tao scampers over and taps the bag for out number 2.
I really like how Kaylee Tao, too, looks so comfortable at first. The last 2 plays were, 1, she had to stretch, and then 2, just making a routine play. Granted, it was routine, but her routine play last year was catching a fly ball in the outfield. So to see her look so comfortable is really a good sign that it was a good move by Murph to move her over there.
And Patrick Murphy trying to adjust the lineup to find a way to get all of his power hitters in. Moving Kaylee Tao to first made the most sense as the first pitch comes in to Hope Brandner, low for ball 1. Brandner walked back in the second, struck out in the 4th. Just misses. When we talked to Coach Straxel this week, one of the things she said, Hope Brandner can change a game with 1 swing, has the confidence, and she has played here with Oregon State last season in regionals. The 2-0. This one hit over towards short, and making the play is Claire Jenkins for out number 3. Still no score, Alabama and Minnesota. Game summary here for this contest between Alabama and Minnesota, and as we have said ad nauseum tonight, Rachel, it's been a pitcher's duel.
I mean, it's unreal. I mean, these pitchers have held each team scoreless. Montana for 6 and Amber Pfizer for 5. That's a hard thing to do in this this level of competition.
And we just did some brief math in the break. Now, considering regional play, 20.5 innings pitched overall between these two teams and just 2 runs scored. Bailey Hemphill will try and change that. That 1-0 misses high, 2 balls and no strikes. Hemphill on the day,
Now,
0 for 2.
Earlier in the day, when she was 0 for 2, she hit a home run the 3rd at bat.
That's right.
So she may be due this at bat to get a hit.
There's a 2-0. Low, 3 balls and no strikes. Alabama has not had the leadoff runner get a hit tonight. As that one finds a strike zone. Leadoff batter hasn't reached at all this evening. Bailey Hemphill trying to change that with a 3-1 count. This one way up in the air, sky high. Settling under it is Partain, and out number 1 is recorded. And so Reagan Dykes will try and inject some juice in the Alabama offense here. She's 0 for 2 this evening.
This game only has 9 more outs before it goes into extra, so we might be getting some free softball tonight.
Certainly not uncommon between these two historically. The 1-0. Right in there for a called strike. Neither team has recorded a hit with 2 outs or with runners in scoring position. Reagan Dykes hits it hard, but right to the center fielder Jensen for out number 2.
I think that's the hardest ball we've seen hit tonight. I mean, she hit that square on the nose. Center fielder was just in the right place at the right time. Shifted right or left, she probably wouldn't have caught it. Honestly, that was a bullet.
But it is collected by Jensen for out number 2. And now Mara Schroeder steps back in, singled in the 2nd, grounded out back in the 4th. First pitch misses. And this is the part of the order, Rachel, that Patrick Murphy needs to step up when Tao and Hemphill aren't getting the hits they're accustomed to.
Definitely. I mean, he talked about last week where they had a bunch of holes in their lineup, or not a bunch, they had covered a lot of holes that they had in their lineup last year, and unfortunately, it just didn't happen for them this inning either.
Still scoreless, headed to the 7th. Montana Fouts has been excellent in the circle, but the defense, Rachel, has certainly helped behind her.
Definitely. This Claire Jenkins and Maddie Morgan and Kaylee Tao have been huge assets, and Scarlett Wallace making the play here. I mean, just strong defense will win ball games, and eventually a run will score. And even Reagan on this play here, I mean, just made great effort plays, and here on this run, it was a great job by the defense, staying solid.
We've seen 6 full innings of scoreless softball. And the 7th begins with a swing and a miss by Kimmett Mueller from Minnesota. Kimmett Mueller, 1 for 2, singled back in the 2nd. This will be Montana Fouts' 90th pitch. Holds off on the rise. Here's the 1-2. Oh, the crowd wanted that one. Just missed. Maybe a hair low. Got her on the outside corner. Montana Fouts once again make that 8 strikeouts on the night, and there's 1 away. Let's take another look at it, Rachel. A beautiful pitch from the freshman.
I mean, that's just a perfect setup right there. Busting her in and then bam, hitting her on that outside corner. Catches her looking. That's a great setup by Stephanie Van Brinkle Pro Throw, and Montana Fouts setting her up there, making the pitch.
You might see a change here, as there is some conversation.
Your attention, please, pitching for Minnesota, number 31, Natalie Den Hartog.
And we will see a pinch hitter, Natalie Den Hartog. Den Hartog, the freshman from Hopkins, Minnesota. Got the start in left field earlier today against Louisiana Monroe. Went 1 for 3 with a run scored. And had a couple home runs down in the St. Pete Clearwater Invitational. There have been 6 runs. First pitch misses low.
That one was coming in hot. I'd be curious as to what that rung up on the gun.
Maybe I'll bring that tomorrow.
Yeah, there we go.
The 2-0. Misses in a 3-ball count here against Den Hartog, who has come in and looked confident here against Montana Fouts. Touches the inside corner for strike one. Now, even though she pitched against Arizona, they had a 6-1 Alabama win out in Tucson last weekend. This is the first time Montana Fouts has really been in a pressure 7th inning situation in her career here for the Crimson Tide.
And it shows she still has the same poker face that she had in the first inning.
This one hit over towards second. Skylar Wallace lets it by the throw to first, is in time by a step.
That was a great stretch by Kaylee Tal, too. The throw was a little off. Skylar made the play and knocked it down, but Tal finishing it with a great catch.
We just talked about the defense helping behind Fouts, and here's that play once again. Those are the ones that make Patrick Murphy sweat just a bit more, but she was in time. And now 2 away for Ann Miller, who is 0 for 2 this evening. The 1-0. And Montana Fouts has hit 100 pitches now. That one just misses, and another 3-ball count here. At 110 pitches against Arizona.
Wow.
One gets the inside corner, and Ann Miller is going to have to go back to the plate after tossing the bat aside.
Sometimes I think umpires do that just to kind of show the players who's actually in charge here.
There's an old saying about assuming, but I won't say it here.
Probably shouldn't.
3-1, misses high on the rise, and that is walk number 2 of the season for Montana Fouts with 2 away in the top of the 7th. Tried to get Miller to chase on the rise, and she did not bite.
You think she's getting tired here, or?
I don't know. I've never pitched. I think you made a good point earlier, though. The facial expression has not changed at all this evening.
It has not. And again, that's something you don't see from freshmen typically. Typically, when she gets that, like after this walk, she would have, normal freshman would have shut down, just had pitiful party knee. But
this one right to Claire Jenkins from the bat of Emma Burns for out number 3. Alabama with a chance to win in the bottom of the 7th, scoreless. It's been a very efficient night in the circle for both pitchers, including Montana Fouts.
she is throwing a great game, just going right at these hitters, striking out hitters left and right, and just having a good time while she's doing it, but still maintaining that poker face. And Amber Pfizer here doing the same thing on the other side of the board. She is, again, going right at hitters, having looking strikeouts, swinging strikeouts, any kind of strikeouts you can have. But again, still low hitting game and a pitcher's duel pretty much. So we'll see if Bama can pull it off in the bottom of the 7th inning.
And the ones that Patrick Murphy will rely on, Claire Jenkins, Maddie Morgan, and Skylar Wallace against Pfizer, who, as you see there, just 2 hits given up. And those were both back in the 2nd inning, and one of those was to Claire Jenkins. And Jenkins rips this one right off the third baseman and down the left field line. She thought about going, gave a wide turn, but then trots back to first. And Alabama with the lead runner on for the first time this evening.
That is huge for Alabama, especially playing here at Rhodes. They get the home atmosphere, the fans, the noise, everything is going for their favor here, especially with that leadoff hit. So we'll see if they can capitalize on it, and Maddie Morgan can hopefully pass the bat.
Mueller kind of took a weird angle at that one. It was just a bit too hot off the bat for a play to be made, and now Maddie Morgan stepping in. Claire Jenkins has decent speed over at first. Morgan will lay down and then pull back the bunt. Maddie Morgan does have one sacrifice bunt on the season.
Really important job here for Maddie Morgan is to make sure she at least advances the runner. That is crucial in games like this.
The 1-0. Perfect right down the first baseline. The throw to first is in time, but Claire Jenkins does move to second, and Allison Habits gives Morgan a high five as there's one away and a runner on scoring position.
One thing I love about Alabama softball too is that they value the little things, just like in that where Maddie Morgan lays down a sac bunt. You see the dugout gets cleared. People come out and give her high fives, and that's just something you don't see everywhere you go.
You're exactly right, and we're seeing Caroline Hardy come in and pinch hit for Skylar Wallace. Alabama 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. That after a pretty good outing earlier today against Missouri State, 6 for 12. And it's Caroline Hardy who had a home run earlier today.
That was in the first game, and it does not get better than that, y'all. I mean, just being in the home crowd and hitting a home run in your senior season, I mean, it's something you live for. And this is probably one of the moments she'll remember later on, is being down or tied in the bottom of the 7th and maybe even hitting a walk-off right here.
Outfield is playing more in, so a throw home is possible if a ball gets through the infield. First pitch to Hardy, hits the inside corner. Caroline Hardy with a homer earlier today, had a home run against Arizona, facing the 0-1 count, and that one low.
That one getting a little bit away from the catcher. She popped up real quick, making sure that Claire doesn't advance on a misplay of the ball.
It's interesting that Patrick Murphy goes with Hardy here in the Skylar Wallace spot instead of the Alyssa Brown spot potentially. She is on deck. The crowd behind Hardy, the 1-1. Fouled over in the crowd.
Caroline Hardy looking like she's the senior she is, like she's been here before, and just staying within herself, not getting outside herself, knowing that she has prepared for this and that she can do this. But also on the flip side, you got Amber oh my goodness.
Pfizer. The 1-1 got her swinging. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I thought that was strike 3. Let's see, they're going to check. I thought after the foul, because it was a strike on the inside corner first time up and then a foul, and yeah, she struck out. So that's 2 away now for Alabama with the runner on second still.
And again, Amber Feisner pitching a great game, another strikeout to add to her stat, and just really holding the team up here and holding up a strong defense.
And going up against, you could argue, Alabama's hottest hitter in Hardy, and getting her as Alyssa Brown will come up and Minnesota will chat in the circle. Minnesota's entire defense coming in to discuss what to do with Alyssa Brown.
These two are also on the top 50 watch list, so this is kind of a better...
Wants to make the top 25.
Exactly, exactly. So good competition level here.
Patrick Murphy electing to stay with Alyssa Brown here after pinch hitting for Skylar Wallace in the previous at-bat. Brown is 0 for 2.
You got to remember last weekend too, or 2 weekends ago at Troy, Alyssa Brown also hit that triple. So if they give her anything inside, she has the chance to take it a long ways, and that's something that they have to prepare for too.
And the wind really for the first time today kind of going side to side instead of straight in, although now it's changing direction right as I say something.
Naturally that would happen.
Yes. Outfield is playing more in. First pitch misses.
If you read the defense here too, you can see it's shifted. The outfield is shifted towards left field. This is primarily because they're probably only going to throw her outside, and same with the shortstop and third baseman. So if she does get that inside pitch, it's probably a mistake.
The 1-0. Right down the middle, 1 ball, 1 strike. Pfizer now approaching 100 pitches. Most pitches this year, 92 against California. And that one hits. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Alyssa Brown.
This is your crunch, your key player moment here. Are you going to fold, or are you going to give in and let the game-winning run? Wow, that's a mouthful score.
1-2 to Alyssa. Misses on the chase pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Claire Jenkins at second after the leadoff single, and then being bunted over by Maddie Morgan. Amber Pfizer's responded well here. The 2-2 to Brown. Poked foul. The 2-2. This one right over the shortstop's head. Patrick Murphy will sing Claire Jenkins. The throw home is not in time. And Alyssa Brown with the walk-off. And Alabama with the victory, 1-0 over Minnesota.
What a big win. I mean, such a great moment for Alyssa Brown. Really staying in and being patient with the at-bat and driving in exactly where they're not, which is what she's supposed to do as a slapper. So doesn't get much better than that. And Claire sliding in and having great energy and everybody clearing the dugout. It's a great environment to be here at Rhodes Stadium.
And Patrick Murphy not even waiting a second to sing Claire Jenkins. She was go all the way. And Alyssa Brown with just her second RBI of the year gives Alabama the victory. Let's take another look at it.
Just right here, stayed on it. Shortstop was in the hole, and you can see it on Amber Pfizer's face that she knew that it was done after that. That's a great throw by the outfielder, though, just not in time to get Claire Jenkins.
Boy, what a duel that is ended by Alyssa Brown with the single that drives in Claire Jenkins right over the shortstop, and Amber Pfizer, who was excellent tonight in the circle. What a tough way for her evening to end.
She pitched amazing. I mean, had a ton of strikeouts, just went right at the batters. Just, it's a hard place to win here at Rhodes, unfortunately, and I mean, just couldn't have pitched a better game if you ask me.
We'll be back to wrap things up. Alabama 1-0 over Minnesota with a walk-off in the 7th. Alyssa Brown with the game-winning hit in the bottom of the 7th inning to give Alabama the 1-0 victory and keep the Crimson Tide undefeated. What an absolutely stunning game here at Rhodes Stadium between the Crimson Tide and the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Gray Robertson, Rachel Bobo here. It was a pitcher's duel most of the way, and well, really the entire way, and then Alyssa Brown got the one key hit that mattered in this game.
Right. It took 7 innings for Alabama to finally make an adjustment to Amber Pfizer, but just being able to make that adjustment, they did it when they needed to, and that was the big part of the win. Is Alyssa got the key hit, and that's ultimately what softball comes down to: is good defense, good pitching, and timely hitting.
Well, Montana Fouts joining us now after an excellent performance in the circle. for the Crimson Tide. Montana, congratulations on the victory. You give up your first walk of the season in the first inning and then just continue to mow down batters after that. Were you rattled at all after giving up that first walk, or did you just continue to stay focused?
No, I would just say continue to be focused and get better at hitting my spots for sure.
Montana, how does it feel getting your first victory here at Rhodes Stadium as a freshman? I mean, that's just something you never forget. How does it feel?
It feels cold. It feels cold. No, that was great. I love our fans are great, and I'm really glad they came out because I know it was raining earlier, but that was awesome. I can't wait to play again.
And then to see your teammate Alyssa Brown come in and get that walk-off win, the first Alabama walk-off win you've been a part of. How did it feel to go out and celebrate with the team after that one?
It felt amazing. You know, when she was up to bat, I knew she had it. You know, she said before, she was like, I got this, and we were like, yeah, you do.
Well, Montana Fouts with us. Montana, thank you so much. Congratulations on the victory.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
And let's take a look at what Montana Fouts did in the circle. I mean, just strikeout after strikeout, Rachel.
I mean, back to back to back, it felt like sometimes. I mean, just going right at these players once again and staying a lot with her rise ball and even throwing in the curve in there. It's just poetic is almost what it looks like. I mean, she just really did a great job tonight.
And then Alabama backed her up when it mattered most in the 7th inning. And it was Alyssa Brown.
I mean, perfect execution right here. Waited for her pitch, was patient in the at-bat, and still, again, not in time to get Claire out at home.
Alyssa Brown with just 1 RBI this season. Make it 2, and the second a huge one for the Crimson Tide. Final numbers in this game. Alabama with the 4 hits and the 1 run, and both pitchers really impressive in the circle, but Montana Fouts just a touch better.
Absolutely. And again, a key hit from Alyssa is the difference between a win and a loss right there.
So for my partner Rachel Bobo, our producer Alex Siver, director Braden Snow, and our entire SEC Network crew, I am Gray Robertson saying so long from Tuscaloosa, where the final score is Alabama 1, Minnesota 0. We'll be back tomorrow for another set of games starting at 1:30 Eastern as Alabama takes on Missouri State, and then at 4 Eastern, we'll have the second game between Alabama and Minnesota. To watch this entire game on replay as well as other events on our family of ESPN networks, download the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of the SEC ESPN Network. Have a great night.